Hello, it's Heather and Louise here.
Hello, it's Louise and Heather here.
Here we are back again with one of our podcasts for you. And we've entitled this one, Something is Not Right. Now, it's been in my energy, if I can just share, for a wee while now. I'm going, I just don't feel connected. I don't feel 100%. I don't know what's going on. It must be me. There's something wrong with me. I'm not connecting properly. I haven't felt like this for a long time. In fact, this has been going on for a wee while, off and on, with little breakthroughs. And I'm going, what the heck is going on? And so I got speaking to Louise about it. I said, hey, darling, how are you feeling? I don't feel like I can connect to the divine, my higher self, whatever you want to call it, as easily. It feels sticky, dense, oppressive, these types of words. The joy seems to be lacking. Hey, what's up? Something's not right.
And I was in a not the same, but I've had similar experiences where it's just been like flip-flopping around. You know, the emotions, the connectivity, etc. It's been a little bit, awkward, dense, sluggish. Waking up and going, I just don't want to wake up. I want to go back to sleep. And that's not because I'm depressed or anything like that. It's just the energy of the time of that day is just, I didn't want to deal with it. So
Totally agree. So we decided to go a little bit further. I thought, I can't keep living my life like this, where it's this, something feels out of whack all the time. I need to be dealing with it big time. And so I got speaking to our friend Cifehtr about it. And he actually brought it up, which I thought was interesting. And we got into some really deep conversation about it. And those of you that are awakened to the fact that our world is not what we've told it is, okay, will realise that there is all sorts of energies and sliding doors and timelines at play at the moment, to put it crudely, and I'm sure there are people that have much more eloquent way of speaking than myself and Louise, but we just say it as it is for us. And we're aware, those of you that are sensitive like we are, and when I say sensitive to the energy, the interdimensional energies, you see, you hear, you smell, your senses of your psychic, interdimensional and beyond can be heightened at times or dulled at times, but you're aware of other things. You've had multiple experiences, and you know that we're in a multi-dimensional realm. And something to me just did not feel right in this realm. It just didn't feel like I was breaking through at all, and I should be breaking through by now because have done a lot of clearing, done a lot of releasing. What has helped us, though, is the humour. Over the last couple of days, we've had a bloody lot of funny times, haven't we? But back to you, love.
Oh, I was just going to say that one of the things that I sort of felt, and for me, identified it as there was definitely something not right with our realm, as I call it, at this particular moment. The energy felt, as we've said, dense and all the rest of it, but I was feeling that it's almost like something's breaking. Something is coming apart at the edges. And the way I described it to you is like, you heat glass up to not melting, but it gets really, really hot, and then you cool it and it kind of shatters within itself, and you get this beautiful design of like lace work or a lattice work of thing, and you can either reheat that and it goes away, or you tap it and it breaks. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this lattice work, this lace work in the energy. And it's like scratching on the inside of me. It's like there is something that is, as you say, we say there's something not right, but it's more than just not right. It's just damn right uncomfortable.
Yeah, sometimes I felt like I wanted to rip people's heads off, and I really need to move away because that's not appropriate. Obviously, I don't want to be locked up for ripping people's heads off, but also because I'm going, well, hang on, that's not how I am. I need to be able to have the balance.
Yeah, yeah.
The emotional balance, and physically I don't feel too bad, except bloated. I felt really bloated and uncomfortable in the gut and the digestive area, so I've been doing a bit of a cleanse to try and release that. My appetite's a bit strange. I think I'm hungry, then I can't finish it. And that's fine. I'm not worried about that, but it's just the overall general energy of feeling, like you say, scratchy in the inside, and also this grayness. And if you're prone to depression, those of you that are have been prone to depressive episodes, you may think you're going through an episode of depression,
and that's what I thought.
Which is that we need to talk about. That maybe it's not yours.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's important to delve a little deeper so that we can actually release that before you go running off to psychiatrist.
But I mean, it's true. It's just like, and I've often sort of said in these sort of the days where it comes and it's just like it's like sludge that you're sitting in. I have to mention I'm tired. But I'm not tired on the inside. But I'm tired. I'll yawn. My eyes will be like, oh, I can't keep them awake. Or should I say open? But I'm physically not tired. So there's all of these symptoms.
These are just symptoms we've realised, because I was holding on to it for myself and going, oh, it's just what I'm going through, Then I'm going, but it's going on for too long. This is not like me. What's going on? So we got talking, as you do.
As you do.
And came up with that there's something not right. And what is it? And how do we break through it? Okay.
And so the breaking through is what?
Well, the breaking through is seeing it for what it is. And we work with something called aspects, which are, parts of ourselves that come on in seemingly inopportune times and make their presence known and disrupt our life. And sometimes they're parts of ourselves that need to be dealt with. Other times they're not. So the first thing I do with something that comes in...
That's what you did with me just now, isn't it?
Yeah, which is, causing a disruption or imbalance seemingly in my life, my realm, I go, who are you and what do you want? Simple as that. Who are you? What do you want? What are you? And you wait for an answer, somehow, a sense, a knowing, an answer. Obviously you do this in your quiet time, your quiet space, and probably not in a crowded room, but that can be done too. And if you get a sense that it's something that you need to deal with, it's personally yours, then you use your tools. And if you haven't got any tools, come and speak to us later. We have quite a few that we use that work really well for us. If it's something that you get a sense is not actually yours and it's coming in from elsewhere, then you're right within your rights to go, piss off,
universal,
move away from my space, move on, basically, move on, because we are incredibly powerful and incredibly connected. We've got to remember that. We are really, the divine children. Okay? We are the ones that have incredible connection once we recognise it. It's always there anyway, but waiting for us to recognise it. So we just say, no, you've got to move on, not interested in what you are trying to tell me. You're not mine, and I do not have to be feeling like this. Off you go. So I did this last night, actually. Made a big difference very, very quickly. But then I wake up and I go, I remember what we've been talking about, cutting through and breaking through. This is not mine. You're not welcome in my presence. Off you go. So what is the thing that's not welcome in our presence? Are we going to broach that here? We're going to get...
let's get down and dirty.
Get into the esoteric. Those of you that know us or just finding us, if you know us for a while, we get down into the deeper esoteric and spiritual energy connections and knowings that we have. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's totally fine. If it does, great as well. If you have questions, you can put them in the comment section here. This is on our YouTube. And if you want to contact us, our details are everywhere as well. Okay?
Absolutely. So do you want me to bring the old man through?
It's totally up to you, whatever feels right. The old man referring to our
ascended master who's been with us for years. In fact, I've known him since I was a wee lass living in Rhodesia as a child of 3, 4, 5 years old. So, So
we always come in, guys, with help and support. Our guides are there. Our team is there. I mean, we come into this realm and quite frankly, we forget pretty much everything. And that's
Nobody gave us a manual when we popped out of mum. They didn't say, "Oh, welcome to this plain young woman, young man. Here's a manual to get you from A to B, and we'll be back when you're 6 years old and give you the next set of manuals."
That's right. And we're in this.
Nobody did that. At least not to me, they didn't.
Yeah, we're in this meat suit. We're in this avatar. We're in this spacesuit, whatever you want to call it, and we're working our way, journeying our way through this this life, this experience. And if you want it to be your bestest life, your top life, and break through, then listen on in. We can do this. We can all do it. Many of us can do this. I believe that.
Greetings, my friend. I am. That I am Cifehtr.
Greetings.
And you have invited me here to reiterate on a few things that we discussed in the night previous.
Well, I think it's valuable for people that are wondering what's going on. So something is not right.
Well, let us look at that. The terminology, something is not right. So if something isn't fitting, if something is not right within a particular situation, within a framework, within a construct, something must be giving you an alert. Yes, let's just break it down to a simple factory. If you are working in a factory and something goes awry on the machinery, what happens? There is a klaxon sound. Yes, the alarm goes off, or somebody goes, that was missed, this was missed, something's, and the factory is brought to a halt to find out where the fault is, to find out where that is going wrong. Yes. Now, bear with me as I say this. Yes. And remember, I'm speaking analogy. Well, you can't pull a switch on planet Earth and say, everybody stop. We have to go back on the construction work line here on the conveyor belt and see exactly where that step was missed so we can readjust everything and make it right again. They've attempted this, believe me. They have tried this many hundreds of times over the many thousands of years. Yes.
Who's they?
The creatures. Let us call them the formless ones. Yes. The faceless ones.
Right.
All right. The ones who
pull the strings of the puppets.
You see, and this, I know this frustrates. It does frustrate, and I'm going to acknowledge this very bluntly. It frustrates the living men and living women that I communicate with when they say, who are they? Who are these beings behind the scenes pulling the strings? Is it the government? Is it this? And I have to say to you that I am not at liberty to enunciate or name these creatures. So I call them the formless ones. I call them the faceless ones. And as I said to you last night, there are those who have the dragon energy. There are those who have the Ra energy, positive or negative, does not matter. There are different fractions of energetic beings in your realm that are vying for control. It is just something that has been ongoing for many thousands of years. I often say to Heather that this world is older than what you think, yet it is younger than you know. And I say this because there has been so many climatic events on your plane that the true age of your world is unknown. Not because history is not correctly recorded, but history is only recorded from a time when knowledge is given. Yes. And what happened before the current knowledge came into place. It doesn't matter if it was cuneiform. It doesn't matter if it was hieroglyphics. It doesn't matter if it was Sanskrit. It doesn't matter the language in this current time. What happened before then that eliminated the record keeping of that time to allow for the record keeping of this time. You see, there are many avenues we can go down, but I'm not doing that today. I want you to begin to broaden your perspective and your knowledge, your mind, your heart, to the possibility that there is something beyond you. And I'm not talking of the creator. I am not talking of the being of light that has generated the compassion towards all in this realm, but there are other beings that are above. Shall we call it? I don't want to say better than you, but they have amassed a certain amount of knowledge. They have amassed a certain amount of clout, and they are energy beings, and they know how to manipulate. They know how to tweak, how to get into the minds of, I'm going to say this word without trying to offend, yes, the lesser beings, yes. And this is done through DNA cloning. It's done through hybrid. It's done through many different ways of breaking down the structure of the species of the planet or the realm that they come into contact with. Now, in your current time, you are all in a situation where many are feeling that something is not sitting right in the world. There are things that have happened in the since 2018 that have caused people to sit up and think and to ponder what the F is going on. What is happening to the people? What is happening to the governance? What is happening to everything around you? Because wherever you look, you're either in two camps. One camp is everything's okay and you are quite happy with that. And the other camp, there is questions, and that is critical questioning. And this is the camp I'm speaking to. Yes.
I'm assuming also that a lot of these people that are watching this now are of that camp.
One hopes. But hey, there may be somebody who's not, who listens to this and begins to question. Yes, begins to think.
It's all good.
So when we are in this critical thinking place, when we are in the time of critical questioning, certain events happen in our energy. Now, when I talk about our energy, I want you to be aware that everything is energy. The computer, this microphone, this body, the table and chairs that we are sitting on, everything is energy. Everything is vibrating at a frequent sequence that will either make it solid or liquid, transparent or opaque. What happens, though, is when another frequency enters into the equilibrium of what we consider the norm, what begins to happen is there is a jarring. It is the sound of the nails on a blackboard. Yes. It is the squeak of polystyrene on a shiny shoe or something like this that makes people go, oh. And it is the sound, the warning, the klaxon inside of us that says something is not right. Now, as I said before, you cannot just pull a plug or a lever and say, stop the conveyor belt, stop the world. But you can, in your own energy, go, does this belong to me? Is this vibration that is coming in and wreaking havoc in my I am balance, in my situation, is it mine? No, it's not. Well, if it's not mine, what right does it have to be in my vessel, to be in my surrounding? It doesn't. So you can, under divine law, under divine universal law, you can command that vibration to leave your immediate surrounds. Because if you are of this critical thinking group, where you consider all facts placed before you, you will be aware that you are not of this realm. You happen to live in it, but you're not of this construct. You're not of this world. Yes? In other words, you don't follow like a little sheep. You don't follow everything that you are told to do. You pause. You ask the question. You consider. And you may follow after all of these processes have been done within you, but you don't just blindly do something. You have a part of you that clicks into place and says, hang on, I need to follow this through in my own way. You process it. So this is what needs to happen more and more now, because as you begin to feel this jarring, as you begin to feel this, many of you will begin to look at this feeling, begin to look at the sensation. It's not a logical awareness. It's not a pattern that you can write down and follow through the diagram as, yes, now I have the answer. This is a feeling, this is a knowing, this is a sensation that you will begin to look at and go, I've been here before. If you truly stop, breathe, and just go in and go, where have I felt this density, this stubborn noise? Where have I felt this blocking, this preventative energy, this scratching on the inside? Where have I felt it before to this extent? And you will probably find yourself transmitted in your energy, in your memory, maybe 20 or 30, maybe even 40 years ago, for those of you who've been on this journey in this period of time, to a time where what we call the veil, or the energy link between this realm and the divine, the creator source, the universal connection, was quite dense. It was difficult to get messages through. It was difficult to get into the space for meditation. Many people would do mantras and ritual to prepare the space to be able to open it up for a short period of time to allow transmission between the two realms before the density closed down again. But over the last 15 to 20 years, what has begun to happen is a thinning of this veil, a thinning of the wall, not to just be done away with, because it is still there. It still separates this realm from that. And I'm not talking the living and the dead. I am talking of two living realms, two realms that are vibrant, are energetic and full of potential. Yes. There is a veil, there is a wall of energy between these two realms that keeps them separated because there is a reason for it. And when that reason no longer exists, it will dissolve, and these two realms will be able to yet again, once more, walk in and out with each other, communing and being a part of the communities on both sides. But until what needs to be done on this side is done, and what needs to be done on that side is done, this veil is there to keep you from harming each other. Yes, harming yourselves even. So, and that is just a very brief synopsis. I could go in deeper with it, but this is not the time at this moment, because when you go into this meditative state and you begin to feel where you once were in your journey, where you once were in your separation to yourself and the creator, you suddenly realize now, when you come back into this present moment, you go, I recognize this. This is like a mirroring. It's as if somebody is reflecting back to me and making me believe or think that this is a reality, where in reality, you still have the thinness, but because there is interference coming in at a vibrational or a resonational level, you are beginning to see and feel and experience a smoke and mirrors. You are beginning to have an illusion in front of you that acts as if it is real. And it is time to put aside the illusion and begin to tap into your reality again. Now, I asked Heather to do this last night, and what did you do?
I sat there quietly, I breathed, and I connected in, and I actually felt this energy, and I realized it wasn't mine, and I actually moved it on. I moved it on. Energetically, I moved it on.
And how did you feel after that?
Good, better, lighter, more like me, more like there was an opening of light, more like there was an opening of light, an opening of opportunity, I felt gratitude, I felt appreciation, I felt the things that I normally would feel when I'm connected. I started to feel more connected quickly.
Absolutely. So last night you asked me the question. You said, but why is this happening? Why is there this dense energy coming through? And my response to you was something in the lines of, it's not just you. It is upon the masses of the realm. Yes?
Yeah.
The entire species known as mankind is being affected by this, let's just call it this density, the slowing down, the sluggishness,
and the
of
slowing,
being.
Yeah.
It is almost as if the very essence within you of your get up and go is being drawn out of you. It's almost as if they're trying to create a lethargy amongst the man and the men and women of this world. So this will lead them into a way of perhaps least resistance. Why do you need to be in a place of least resistance? Because when they present you with a solution, remember, problem, cause, problem, solution. Yes?
Problem, reaction, solution.
Exactly. What she said. When you are given a solution to the way you are feeling, you are more inclined to buy into it if you have not already started to process it in an honest and intuitive manner. If you are somebody who has in your past maybe been, as Heather was saying before, a depressive energy, this one herself was diagnosed as with a clinical depression. She was on medication to assist her to get through this. Yes. Long story short, she is no longer in that place, no longer on medication. Yes. Has not been for many, many years. But there is always a pull, always a thought pattern. Am I going back there? If I go down this dark alleyway, is this going to be me back on medication? You see? So many people who have been down that road do not want to go down that road again. And so they hold things together in a way that prevents others from getting in to assist. And this is a time where assistance and compassion and empathy is required, not sympathy, not forgetfulness, not, oh, don't worry about it, get your act together, you can do this, not any of the harshness, but also at the same time, when there is empathy, it is not jump in and rescue empathy. It is the empathy that sits back. I understand. I have the sensation of where you are. I know what you may be going through, not what you're going through. Nobody can know what the other person goes through. Yes. But you may have a iota of an idea of what they are going through. There is deep compassion. Now, what is compassion? Compassion is not gooey love. It's not this idealistic world of rose glasses. Yes, it is the compassion of putting oneself in a similar position to identify, and then going, I can identify, but I am not you. And I will not get into the mire with you, but I will show you how to get out. Yes, it is being there side by side, walking the path, but it is not doing the doing for them. Yes. When we come to recognize that there is something in our energy that is not gelling, what begins to happen is we question. And we question, and we question. And now this can drive us all mad. Or seemingly mad, because what begins to occur is we do not find the answer immediately. Yet the answer is simply this: the illusion that is out there is at this particular time sending out a frequency of density around this realm because it is breaking down. There is holes appearing, if you will. Think of an old cinematic camera film, yes, and you're watching an old cinematic movie, and what happens when that tape gets too hot or too close to the lamp, it melts, and you have to quickly catch it and join it back together again to enjoy watching the movie. And this is what's happening in the illusionary world around you. You are beginning to see the holes because the globes of distraction are too hot. And so what is happening is those of you around that are beginning to tap into yourselves and into the inner knowing, into that which is your true beingness, the I am, you're beginning to see through this illusion. And this is why the compassion, as I was explaining just now, the compassion is required, because there will be those who will not know what to do and what is going on. You who have at least some idea, you may be going through something yourself, you may be processing, but think of it this way: there is one who has no idea, and they are seeing the illusion of the world they had trusted falling down around them. Here you are. You have a concept of an idea of what's happening. You are able to bring compassion into their lives and talk them through.
Well, that's really interesting. You talking about things breaking down, the movie breaking down. How might that appear to different people in different ways?
You may see something. You may be an avid watcher, even though you do not believe it. You may be an avid watcher on the MSM, and you may see one of the global leaders scratch their face, and the mask comes off on live broadcast TV. Now, I am not saying that this is going to happen on this date and this time. I'm saying this is a potential. You may be reading a magazine or a newspaper, and you might see something being broadcast as an event that is occurring, and then nothing happens. And then, like a Mandela effect, I would say.
Right,
yes.
okay.
All of these things happening with lots and lots of you see the same thing, but it is in many ways people trying to dilute it, trying to cover it up. But too many of you have seen it, experienced it, heard it. There are many ways that we in the greater sphere of the cosmos are attempting to, without violation of the rules of the play of the game, tweak things so that they come undone. What we're trying to do is find that little thread and pull it so that it unravels. Now, we have to play within certain rules of play, because as you are very much aware, we are in a theater, we're in a play of left and right, front and back. We're all in this together, whether we are entities of ascended masters, we are the memories speaking through those who are giving us voice, or whether we are entities of those who have been buying up real estate, if we can call it this way, of the human avatar to manipulate and to dominate. Yes.
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, there are those who are walking into submissive men and women. They are taking over their lives. They are controlling them, manipulating them, all because of the promise of wealth, of longevity, etc., etc., etc. And some of them will say, but it's true. I gave this promise. I allowed them to use my body. I've been around for X many hundreds of years. My genealogy, my children, I have outlived some of my children and my grandchildren and all the rest of it. But you never see them, because if you did, it would truly put the world on its end. If that means, you tip it up in a way that would not be able to be.
You mean cognitive dissonance max?
Would be, yes. I mean, like if you just look at all of your Hollywood movies that are produced where you have the pyramids and the Egyptian storyline, and they say, there's a particular line where there were the gods that lived in the pyramids, yes? And they were of pale skin, and they wore veils, and they were like 10, 15 feet tall, and they spoke a different language to you all and had to have interpreters, etc., etc. And they were never seen, but they were always heard. until the last one died, and then everybody realized that they weren't as big as what they were, and they weren't as powerful as what they were. And so you had two camps. You had the camps of when, well, we told you, and then you had the other camp of going, well, now what do we do? Who do we worship now? Who is going to tell us what to do? And this is exactly, in many ways, this is where you are now. You are in two camps of saying, we don't care because we don't believe that the gods that we've been told exist are actually there. We need to figure out what's going on. Now, there is a creator.
Mm.
There is an oversoul, a divine creator, the universal source, whatever label you wish to attach to it, is above all of the other minor gods that you have been told this story connects in. And this is how humanity came to be. This is how mankind was born. This is how the planet came, blah, blah, blah. Now, again, I'm not going to get into that now. If you want me to get into it, we can. But another segment.
Hmm.
But you must realize that everything that you have been given since you were born has been programmed to be presented to you in a certain way, in a structure that best fits your demeanor. Because there are some of you who went to the scholastic education system and were bored out of your bracket. You could not fit in. You would not fit in. And so what that did, the powers that be looked at this and said, this generation we can't control. So what did they do to the next generation? They labeled ADDH, they labeled it this, they labeled it that, they labeled it the next thing. And what did they do? Tablet, 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 dumb, 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 dumber, and dumber. And I don't mean disrespect. And many people will say, yes, but without my reclam, without my this, without my that, then I'm crazy. I'm da, da, da. You need to re-look at who you are internally. Do you need as much? Again, I am not your physician. I am just one who sees the chemical imbalances that they have been injecting into children from a very young age that creates a problem that needs to be cured. Anyway, next.
Excellent. Look, I think so. Basically, this segment's called "Something Is Not Right." Hopefully, we've established
maybe I've gone over the boundaries of that, but
that's okay. How to break through it? It's basically just rise up.
Yeah,
and
take back your dignity, take back your honor, take back your manhood, your womanhood. Be the creature. And I use that term not as a disrespect, but be the being, be the creature that you are. You see, do not let some other undefinitive voice dictate to you out of peer pressure and out of construct. You must be this person. You must be like this, because if you're not, then you're not going to fit in. You need to realize that the only way to fit in is if you are in there comfortable with who you are.
Be your own unique self. You know, you don't have to be anything else but who you truly are.
Indeed.
And that's the journey. Can be a journey of a lifetime, to be honest. Okay, well, excellent. Thank you very much for that. We'll be following up with another segment coming up very soon.